Hi everyone, welcome to Talking Comfort. This week I have two cars, 2 decades apart, and we are not going to be doing a consumer comparison video by any means. We're going to be looking at how a badge has evolved, what it meant to enter into luxury 20 years ago versus what it means now. Let's start with the car on my right. This car and I share a personal journey. I mean, we all have that one car that is more than just a point A to point B car, it means a lot to us. And this for me got me into the motoring world. It's where I first put my leg on a clutch. It's where I first put my foot down on an accelerator. And it's where I learned to drive. This is the 2006 Mercedes-Benz A170 avant-garde. Now, when it came out back in the day, it wasn't a sleek looking sedan like the C-Class, the E-Class, nothing like that. It was an oddly shaped, high roof, disproportionate Mercedes-Benz. But it actually prioritized practicality and pure engineering over pure vanity. Now let's look at the car on my left. This is the modern day 2026 A200 AMG line. Now we can clearly see that this is a striking looking car. It's low slung, it's a proper hatchback, it's long, and it's tech heavy. It's got everything that the modern consumer wants. But there are a few trade-offs. We're going to look at it in this video. Now, let's look at something that was really overlooked with the 2006 A-Class, and that was the sandwich floor design. So inside this bonnet, I'm not going to open the bonnet because this car is 20 years old and I don't want to get a scolding for breaking anything. So under this bonnet is a 1.7 liter naturally aspirated engine. But Mercedes spent hundreds of millions of dollars on designing the chassis of this vehicle. In the event of a severe crash, this engine was not meant to come into the passenger. Instead, it was meant to slide underneath. For me, that's the brilliant piece of engineering that we're talking about when it comes to this car. Now, because of that flat floor sandwich design, you get a lot of height in this car. Instead of feeling like you're sitting in a hatchback, you actually have the space of maybe an E-Class or C-Class of its era. I mean, look at the amount of headroom I've got in this car. I don't even think we get this much of headroom in our modern day compact SUVs. You've also got an incredible amount of legroom. And here's the funny part. The new A-Class is actually half a meter longer than this model here. So it just makes me wonder, have they traded off in terms of style and design and practicality to accommodate a more stylish looking car, but something that doesn't give you the same comfort that you felt 20 years ago? I mean, I remember sitting in this car as a kid and really, loving the space, enjoying it. And I mean, I could still sit at the back as an adult and enjoy as much space as I want to. Here's another cool thing, and this is the party trick with this car. So we've all got 60-40 splits in hatchbacks and compact SUVs, but this car, the seats folded flat. So You could categorize it as a mini MPV sometimes if you needed to transport things, which we did a lot of times. But just because of the flat folding seats, and you could do both sides, but because I'm sitting here now, I won't, it gives you a ton of space to load things up if you really need to. And it was very easy to put back into place. Just look at that. Now let's come to boot space. So with the boot space of this A-Class, it's not completely huge. You can see in here. But one benefit is because of the high top roof, you've got a lot of height in the boot, just in case. And also, those flat folding seats still make a difference from here. I mean, you could always load in, and there was no real effort to actually fold these seats. You didn't need to go into the back. You could do it from here. So again, practical. This is what this A-Class was about. Practicality. Like I say, engineering, top quality. Now, let's look at the modern 2026 A200. Purists hate this because not the design, what's under the design. It's got a 1.3 liter turbocharged engine that's been co-developed with Renault. I mean, I'm also not a fan of that. But one thing Mercedes-Benz did do that really turned this engine around was incorporate 48 volt mild hybrid technology into it. So that means that you get a little bit of extra kilowatts when accelerating and instant torque instead of allowing that engine to really drag out. Because as you can imagine, it might have felt slightly strained if they didn't do that. But, anyways, when you look at the design of this vehicle, I mean, compared to that one there, it's chalk and cheese. This one here is striking. It got these aggressive headlights. There's a lot of attention to details because you can see in the grille here, you've got Mercedes-Benz logos all the way through the grille. But we're going to go through the back of the vehicle. And like I said, this vehicle is half a meter longer than the 2006 A-Class. But let's go check out the space. Now, I mean, obviously, we're not going to get the height that we had in that one because this is a low slung hatchback. So I'm going to give Mercedes-Benz a pass on that. But one thing I can't is here. So that's my driver's seat position. That's how I sit. And I would hate to be at the back of this vehicle for this reason. My legs just don't have space. And even if I was the driver, I'd hate the guy sitting behind me because he's constantly going to have his knees in my back. So, yes, look, the headroom is not bad. I can admit to that. But I just don't like that you feel a bit squeezed in here. You know, you've got 3 seats at the back, but you still feel squeezed. I struggle to actually think how you're going to fit 3 adults at the back here. The way I see it, this back seats are actually made for kids. Now, I don't have the exact figures on how many liters each boot is, but that you can get in a brochure. So I'm here to actually tell you what I see. And yes, I do see more boot space in this one than in that one. So that's the half meter paying dividends when it comes to the length of the vehicles. Look, I will say, because you've got height there in that car, your boot does also mean you can fill a few more things in it. But you do have a lot of space in here. Actually, I think I can also fit in here. Yeah, I mean, comfortably. So, I mean, to put it bluntly, you do have to trade off space in the back seats, but you get a fair amount of boot space in the modern one. Do you get a spare tire? No, you don't. Now, another thing is that 20 years later, you would expect to enter into luxury with an electric tailgate. I mean, I see space for a button here, but I feel like Mercedes-Benz is going to make me pay extra for that. So if you're just going into this vehicle, it's a manual tailgate. So anytime I drive this car, it brings back a flood of memories and muscle memory. It's got a heavy German spring when you put your foot on the clutch. It's not quick and nifty gear shifts like a Type R Civic or anything of that kind. But it knows with 85 kilowatts of power and 155 Newton meters of torque, this car knows its role. It makes you work for it. It makes you read the road. It makes you understand what it is to drive a German car. It's not the quickest. It's not going to push you from 0 to 100 in 5.5 seconds. But it knows that. And I think the beauty of driving this car is that you've just felt like you entered into the luxury space. This is what it feels like to drive a Mercedes-Benz. It will get better, but this is what it feels like. And I mean, I can tell you from driving this car around town a lot, yes, there's body roll because of the size and because of the high top roof and everything. But it's still such a comfortable, plush drive. And it almost feels like, you've got these tires, they're not the biggest, but the car floats on them, deals with road imperfections quite well. You're not hitting a pothole and wondering, oh, what's happening here? You're hitting a pothole with comfort. And that's what it is. And I mean, I really love that about this A-Class. Yes, turbochargers came in later, but that naturally aspirated 1.7-liter engine is a work of art, in my opinion. Look, when you look at the actual interior for its time, 2006, I mean, none of us had big infotainment screens like we do now or digital clusters. You've got an analog cluster here, you've got your small computer in the middle, you've got uh, your you've got automatic windows. I'm not going to show you this door handle because this is wear and tear, but you can look at that one there and you'll notice you've got some really striking design elements in this vehicle for its time. You've got these brushed aluminium panels on the door, and this material on the door is so solid. It's like you can't take that away from this car. It's absolutely solid. Well, let's look at the inside of this car properly. I mean, you know, in 2006, we didn't have these big screens and things like that. But look at this car. It gave you a nice CD player, a really neat center console. And I mean, you didn't really have CD players in every car at the time. You also get really nice partial leather seats with cloth in the middle. That is really comfortable. Sure, you don't have lumbar support. But one thing I can tell you is that in the 2006 model, in the 2026 model, you still got manual seats. Uh, yeah, like I say, you had comfort in this car. You did have technology for the time. You had an easy and a plush drive. And I think that's what made this 2006 Mercedes-Benz. You could argue about the high shape, awkward looking, not sporty hatchback, but this guy knew that it wasn't a sporty hatchback. It wasn't a plush sedan. It was an entry into the luxury space. But then let's jump into this A-Class and look at the interior. I mean, this is a modern triumph of luxury execution. You've got the works here. I mean, that's an entry into the luxury space. This feels like you're sitting in a junior executive vehicle. So, I mean, you have to say that people evolved as time went on. They no longer wanted that sort of practicality, and they didn't want that mini MPV looking vehicle. What they wanted was luxury. They wanted sportiness. They wanted absolute comfort. And Mercedes Benz delivered. Let's be honest. I mean, like I said, the only thing for an 815,000 Rand car that I would change is the manual seats. I do feel like I deserve to be sitting in an automatic seat if I'm paying that much for a car. But look at this. You've got a dual screen here. The Mercedes-Benz user experience, MBUX as they call it, is phenomenal. You've got turbine air vents here. You've got haptic controls on your steering wheel now. And I mean, they've even added pedal shifters. You've got two cup holders in a really practical position, a wireless charger, USB ports, you've got storage space, but it just gives you that feeling. I mean, it gives you that feeling that this car is now more than just an entry into luxury. Now it is luxury. I mean, one thing I do like is that they've kept certain elements from 2006 in this 2026 model. And that's things like those door handles. It's still that brushed aluminium. You've still got that brushed aluminium surface here. But now they've traded the cloth for Alcantara. And wow, these are comfortable seats. Don't get me wrong. These are excellent, but it's still the half leather. So you can see that they've actually maintained some of the elements, which is cool. It's nice to see that a brand, as much as they've changed and evolved, they haven't completely lost the identity of the car it once was. Now let's talk about the drive of this car. So on that one there, I mentioned 85 kilowatts of power, naturally aspirated 1.7 liter engine. You have to work for it. You really have to. And I mean, that's what I love about the older cars. You had to work for it. It wasn't as forgiving, let's say, as these newer cars. But this one here, it's got a 1.3 liter turbocharged petrol engine, and it's got 48-volt mild hybrid technology. Mercedes-Benz started to incorporate that into C-classes, and now they've done it with the A-Class as well. And look, it's very comfortable to drive. I do feel like that 1.3 liter would have strained, would have been a bit, uh, how do I put it? It would have just not been it for this car. But that mild hybrid technology helps the car. It gives it that extra power. It gives it that instant torque. Makes you feel like you can press it a little bit. You don't have to work for that power anymore. It's available to you when you need it, when you want it. It's punchy. This car is punchy. It moves well. But because this is the AMG line, you do have a harder suspension. And like I mentioned with that one, it's got a bit of roll. This one is highly agile. And this one here, because of that harder suspension, is not going to deal with road imperfections the way that one does. But that's what people want now. They want to sit lower. They want to sit cooler. They want to be chilled out when they're driving. And they want to have a big screen in front of them where they can control things. They want to have the turbine air vents. They want the ambient lighting. I mean, it does feel cool. It does feel like, yeah, I'm it. But I mean, I just feel like there are certain trade-offs in terms of the comfort of driving. Not to say this is not comfortable to drive, but hit a pothole or go over a speed bump with this one and do it with that one, and there's a big difference. Let's look at pricing. So we purchased this as a demo back in 2006 with very little mileage on the clock, obviously, and it cost 170,000 to enter into a Mercedes-Benz back in the day. Now let's come to this one, because although it's got an AMG line package on it, to be fair, adds a little bit onto the car. But 815,000 gets you into a new A-Class. I don't know. Has luxury just become that expensive now? After stepping out of the car that I learned to drive in and stepping into the modern A-Class, it's given me a few things to think about. I mean, yes, this is a monument to German engineering, packaging, safety, practicality. But this is everything that the modern consumer wants: aggressive looking, stylish, tech heavy. And it made me realize one thing. Yes, maybe this car here was built to give you 500,000 kilometers. Maybe this car is not. But it doesn't mean that Mercedes-Benz has built a worse car over the last 20 years. What it means is that the brand has evolved and also just built a car for a new world. Now, I want to ask you a question. Are you the type of person who thinks that luxury still means safety, pure engineering, and practicality? Or are you the one who thinks that luxury is built into style and comfort and technology? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.